Vanakkam, the South Indian is here. Tell you what, whether I'm a South Indian, some of us are South Indians, whether you're a North Indian, whether we are from the East or from the West, one thing is for sure, all of us are really obsessed with politics. Therefore, a lot of international experts say that it is very difficult to dupe an Indian voter. He knows exactly, literacy notwithstanding, what is happening in the country, which party is doing what, why is it that some of the parties which have not been doing very badly may tomorrow turn out to be a winner. That's why any little movement in the political sphere and we all become very alert. Today is a day like that, and I'll tell you why. It's raining raids and arrests across India, and it does feel like elections are around the corner. Yes, both assembly elections in states such as Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, as also the mother of all elections, the 2024 general elections. You know what? It would be very unfair to attribute all raids and investigations as political vendetta. But then the timing of it is somehow such that it feels like deja vu. And many opposition leaders are wondering why the raids are only on the opposition turf and not on the ruling party's side. Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, M.K. Stalin, took to X, formerly known as Twitter, and said, the Union BJP government's vindictive politics knows no bounds. Arresting AAP MP Sanjay Singh and raiding DMK MP Jagata Rakshagan's home are clear examples of their misuse of independent investigating agency for political ends against India bloc leaders.
संजय जी कुछ कहेंगे अपने देश में? संजय जी कुछ कहेंगे? संजय जी कुछ क्या है मोदी जी का? हारेंगे मोदी जी चुनाव हार रहे हैं, इसलिए संजय जी आपके आरोप के बारे में क्या लगता है? क्यों
संजय सिंह नरेंद्र मोदी जी के भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ इस देश की सबसे बुलंद आवाज है। मोदी जी सर से पैर तक भ्रष्टाचार के अंदर डूबे हुए हैं और मैं समझता हूं कि शायद आजाद भारत के सबसे भ्रष्टाचारी प्रधानमंत्री अगर कोई है तो वो नरेंद्र मोदी जी हैं। कल जब इनकी सरकार नहीं रहेगी और इनके कारनामों की जांच की जाएगी तो पता चलेगा कि इन्होंने कितना भ्रष्टाचार किया है और उस भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ सबसे बुलंद आवाज संसद के अंदर और संसद के बाहर संजय सिंह की थी। वो मोदी जी को बर्दाश्त नहीं हो रहा था। पहले संजय सिंह को संसद से सस्पेंड करवाया और अब उन्होंने आज उनको एक झूठे पूरी तरह से झूठे सवेरे से शाम तक बाबूजी बता रहे हैं कि सवेरे से शाम तक सारे घर का छान मारा इन्होंने, सारे तकिए गद्दे सारे सब छान मारा, कुछ नहीं मिला इन लोगों को। उसके बाद शाम को ये गिरफ्तार करके ले गए।
बीजेपी Delhi police will have to explain what is the liquor policy pursued by Delhi government in Delhi. What is the money laundering that took place in Delhi? Who are all involved? Already 2 ministers have been arrested. Now another MP has been arrested. Will there be a list? Is there any list of people involved in this are going to be arrested? Nobody knows, and it is not convincing. What are the charges? What are the charges? What are the evidences? What is this policy? How the money laundering took place? Nobody knows. And ED is unleashed, and other agencies are unleashed to go and assault the opposition party leaders.
देखिए, जो सरकार है इस वक्त ये हर महाज पे फेल हो गई है। नौजवानों को रोजगार देने में महंगाई इतनी ज्यादा हो गई कि गरीब जो है इस वक्त जहर खाने की दादार पे पहुंचा हुआ है और हर तरफ हाहाकार मची हुई है। ऐसे में ईडी बीजेपी का दायां हाथ बन चुकी है, तो अपोजिशन का ये मुकाबला कर नहीं पाते हैं। खासकर जो इंडिया अलायंस बना है उससे खौफजदा है, डरे हुए हैं और इसलिए ईडी का इस्तेमाल करके पहले लोगों पे इल्जाम लगाते हैं। जब वही लोग बीजेपी में शामिल हो जाते हैं तो फिर वो कहते हैं ये अच्छे लोग हैं अब।
I'm sure you know what all those bites were, in what context, whether it was Arvind Kejriwal, D. Raja or Mehbooba Mufti. But anyway, let me list out the number of raids which have been carried out in the last 48 to 72 hours. First major arrest is of course of Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh in a money laundering case linked to the investigation into the Delhi liquor policy. The ED swept down on his residence yesterday early morning and after intense interrogation picked him up. Like Mr. Kejriwal said, they actually looked into every little article in his home but could not find anything. But I would like to let Mr. Kejriwal know that you don't keep things strewn around for the investigating agencies to be picked up. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is of course the third major arrest from the Aam Aadmi Party. Delhi Health Minister Satyendra Jain was arrested in May last year on charges of laundering, and the big one of course was Delhi Deputy Chief Minister and close aide of Arvind Kejriwal, that being Manish Sisodia, who was arrested by the CBI in the alleged liquor policy scam. Just a few hours ago, income tax officials conducted searches at multiple locations related to Maganti Gopinath, an MLA of the Bharat Rashtra Samiti or BRS. Before that, Income Tax Department started raiding over 40 premises belonging to the former Union Minister and current Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam MP S. Jagatarakshagan in connection with suspected tax evasion.
And people in Tamil Nadu know how many ADMK people, how many people, supporters of BJP are running colleges and institutions. There is no right in those institutions. Very simple. I don't want to name them. But there are many ADMK and BJP leaders or supporters of BJP are running colleges. Why targeting Jagatarakshagan alone? The simplest thing is that these people want to terrorize the opposition parties. They are misusing all their powers. They are not fit to rule a country as per law. Barbarians, I can say the BJP is a barbaric class of people who do not respect constitution, who do not respect any law, who will do anything for their benefits.
Apart from DMK's Jagatarakshakan, in the south, the ED conducted raids at properties linked to Karnataka Congress leader Manjunath Gowda. This is allegedly a probe into the scam at the Shivamogga District Cooperative Central Bank. Bengal has also faced the wrath as ED raided the food minister Rathin Ghosh in the civic body recruitment scam, and the raids and arrests on journalists of course, which has rattled many within and outside the fraternity.
संग खबर मिल गया हमको तो हम आया इधर आके देखा वो लोग घुस गया। अब क्या बातचीत करता है नहीं करता है वो लोग ही जानता है, हम लोग तो कुछ नहीं जानता है। तो ऐसा हम बोलना चाहता है कि हमारा जो लीडर है मिनिस्टर, हम लोग दोनों छोटा से दोस्ती है हम लोग का, दोनों का एक साथ काम किया, एक साथ पॉलिटिक्स किया। तो एक साथ पॉलिटिक्स का करने के बाद ये सुविधा हुआ हमको, उसको भी हमारा पूरा पहचान है, वो भी हमको जानता है। तो ऐसा जो बदनाम उसमें चढ़ाया वो लोग, ये ठीक नहीं है, गलत है। ये हम सोचता है परसों ये दिल्ली गया और दिल्ली में जो हुआ हम लोग का ऊपर अत्याचार और दिल्ली में जाके आंदोलन जो सफल हुआ, उसके बाद कल कलकत्ता, आज फिर राजभवन, इसके अंदर में हम लोग जो आगे चल रहा है इसको वो लोग नहीं मानता है।
To my mind, what happened yesterday was not only unfortunate, it was a disgrace to our democracy and to our traditions of freedom. I believe the government erred. If there is a charge of foreign funding that is illegal or improper, there are right ways of investigating the owners. But confiscating journalists' laptops and depriving them of access to work, and what kind of stories have they written? These were not stories that had anything to do with China. To my mind, there is something really wrong in this kind of approach, and the government should learn it is the action of a very insecure and frankly autocratic government that they've done this. So I deplore it, and I did so yesterday as soon as I heard the news. It's truly unacceptable.
So West Bengal, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, of course, Delhi, Karnataka, and so on and so forth. And no, I am not done yet, and shall now show you the map which meanders to the route taken by the investigating agency, whether it be the ED or the IT. Take a look at that. I mean, all the regions or the areas going red for you, where all the raids have taken place, showing full well that these many raids have been conducted. Of course, Sanjay Singh of the Aam Aadmi Party was arrested. So that is the map, a ready reference, it's a ready reckoner for all of you, which shows raids across India, pan-Indian raids as it were. So what is this raid epidemic? A witch hunt as suggested by the opposition parties, or just regular investigation as the ruling parties want to say, or it is just the season of elections? Let's debate. Joining me is Abhinandita Dayal Mathur, who is the spokesperson for the Aam Aadmi Party, Suresh Kochitil, who is a political analyst, Amitabh Tiwari, also a well-known political analyst, and Manasvi Thapar, who is a lawyer and a political analyst. All of them have joined us, and welcome to all of you. My silence is because what a lovely name you have, Abhinandita Dayal Mathur. I mean, you know, I love your name. It's so beautiful. So, how does one call you? Abhi or Abhinandita, Miss Mathur?
I think Abhinandita should be fine.
Okay. Abhinandita, how do you look at it? I'm saying that is it the BJP? That's the question I've asked, and it's rather poetic. Raids everywhere. Is the BJP feeling insecure? How would you react to that, Abhinandita?
Well, now it's literally child's play to guess that this is indeed what is happening. There is a witch hunt, there is vendetta, there is absolute sort of paranoia, and very, setting examples for anybody, whether you are, a student, whether you are a journalist, whether you are a voice in the opposition, no matter who you are, if you are not going to collide with the with BJP's agenda, if you are not going to, support and do Wawa Modi ji over everything, then you will be punished for it. And that is what the BJP is trying to do. You look at the examples, whether inside the parliament or outside, you look at examples, whether it is the farmers or whether it is students or journalists. Across the board now, there is some sort of a whip that the BJP is now, sort of pushing on the people of this country, and that paranoia, that disregard for democracy, that is indeed what is happening. I was actually making a note of the list that you pointed out right now, of the raids that have happened in the last 72 hours. My God, this arrest of Sanjay Singh, then the raids in Tamil Nadu, then Manjunath Gowda in Karnataka, the raids happening in Bengal. Was Vyapam not worthy of a ED raid or a serious investigation? Were other scams in this Modi regime or in any other state that is governed by BJP, don't they deserve a proper investigation or ED raid or CBI inquiries? But obviously there is a selective vendetta, and you look last 4 days as well, we have been, we have seen how first the journalists and satirists, comedians, artists are being attacked, are being accused. Then the next day, of course, they must attack the Aam Aadmi Party whenever they can. And then, and then the other states that are being troubled today, the state governments that are being troubled today, it's non-stop. And the crazy thing is that, all of us have now sort of accepted it in our consciousness that, yes, of course, wo to ye karte hain. So many people we meet on the road, on the road, or in the community, and they tell us, we know kuch nahi kiya hai, but aapko to pata hi hai, inke paas power bahut hai, ED or CBI ko chalate hain.
Abhinandita, I'm sorry I'm interjecting you, but That's a very simplistic argument. I mean, I'm so sorry. That's my submission to you, that we meet people on the streets. I mean, it's like, I mean, what really the other side can also say is that so far as the alleged corruption in the Delhi liquor excise scam, liquor scam is concerned, I mean, this has been going on. I mean, maybe for many people it is something which is new, but then one has been following that case and it's been almost 2 years.
Yes, in fact,
you know,
yes,
it's
in
been
fact,
going on, whether it is some of them are now turning approver, there is a south group, there is a north group, etc., etc. But I don't think it is that simplistic. But yes, you're right, you answered my question. You do feel that it is the silly season of political vendetta, as it were. Suresh, how do you react to it? Then I'll of course ask other questions. Do you think that the BJP is, because see, Suresh, it can't be just a coincidence, you know. This is too much of, I mean, one is gobsmacked because the coincidence is like a bit too much. Like it's over the top, like everybody from the other side, I mean, it's raids which is raining on them. So somewhere, you know, it is like, is the BJP really jittery? Has it become synonymous with these investigating agencies which swoop down on you day in and day out?
Well, I think you forgot Kerala, because in Kerala there was a huge scam that took place.
Yeah.
Lakhs of depositors have been cheated by cooperative banks. Many people have committed suicide. Many have died in the last 2 months. And the amount runs into thousands of crores. And of course, black money was converted into white during the demonetization by the Communist Party and Congress affiliated cooperative banks. You know the case very well. Even the High Court is seized of it, and a lot of people have been arrested. Let's come to the liquor scam in Delhi. And because I've been following it very closely, because there is an angle from Hyderabad in that.
Yes.
Now, why is Manish Sisodia in jail for the last so many days? I think March he went into the jail. The judge looks at evidence each time it is presented to him or in front of her and decides whether there's a prima facie case. And each time, different judges at different points in time have said this is a very serious case. There is a lot of evidence against him. So it is not just that income tax or ED went and raided him. And I find it laughable when Arvind Kejriwal says that Sanjay Singh is the most honest man, and you know he's the only guy who's the prime minister scared of. Then I think Rahul Gandhi will start getting a complex now, because I thought Rahul Gandhi used to claim that. Now the simple fact is, everybody knows, we have seen the opinion polls in the last 1 month. What is happening? Nowhere near, none of these parties are coming anywhere near BJP. But we will leave it at that. Why do the raids happen? I think if you remember, during the UPA era, the Supreme Court famously remarked that the parrot is in a cage.
The caged parrot. Yeah.
Now the parrot is out. I think the parrot has become an eagle now, and it's swooping down. So the problem is twofold. When it does, you have a problem. When it doesn't do, also you have a problem.
But it can do, but it can't do like in a series of this. That's slightly kind of mysterious to me. Amitabh, would you say, Suresh, I'll come back to you, Suresh. So, Amitabh, do you think that this is kind of will make the opposition, and after all, you and I, all of us will question, even established paradigms need to be questioned, or else I become a parrot and, you know, I don't want to be one. So I'm asking you that, you know, don't you think it's too much of a coincidence, Amitabh Tiwari, that you see in Kerala, in Tamil Nadu, in Karnataka, Delhi, of course, in West Bengal, Rathin, Ghosh, everywhere we see. So some of them are getting up and asking, what happens? All the sins get washed away when you join the BJP, whether it's Mukul Roy, whether it's Ajit Pawar, whether it's Praful Patel, you know, all of them. What happens to those cases? Suddenly everything has been quietened down. How would you react to that, Amitabh?
See what happens is the Prime Minister has taken a very high moral ground on corruption, and he says that his government has a zero tolerance for corruption. So this is a way to show that his government has a zero tolerance. That is number one. Number two, in a very highly polarized society in which we live, so let's say in Delhi and Punjab. Delhi and Punjab, this will have no impact on the AAP voters. The AAP voters will continue to believe that Sanjay Singh or the AAP leaders are innocent, and the BJP voters will continue to believe that they are involved in some sort of scam. Now, in the rest of the country where the AAP is not present, let's say, amongst the neutral voters, what do they think? So what happens is that with a series of arrests from the ED, amongst the opposition leaders, there is a doubt created in the mind of the voter. कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ चल रहा है. That is number one. But there is the other side also, as you are saying. The low conviction rate, the rates only on, let's say, opposition leaders, because I read somewhere or in some channel, I saw a graphic, 6 out of 121 raids have been on BJP leaders. That is 5% only. Whereas today, the BJP has MPs everywhere more than 50%, correct? And even in Vidhan Sabhas, it has more than 35 MLAs. So this creates a doubt in the mind of this. Now, this battle is in the public court and in the judiciary. Public court is a game of perception, whoever wins the narrative. And judiciary also has to take some action on it. Now today, as you said, some harsh words have been spoken of in the Manish Sisodia case by the Supreme Court. But no action has been taken again, correct? If the judge is saying clearly that there is no proof and this can be fall flat in 2 minutes, then again he or she is not passing the bail order per se because of the draconian law, because of the circumstantial evidence, whatever. And 5.5 lakh people in India are in jails, out of which 77% are under trials. So it also raises a question on our entire judiciary and the criminal procedure.
You know, yeah, sure. But you know what happens? I'm so sorry to be sounding cynical, but here I'm not a journalist. I'm only talking like a common person. Is that you know, no one really, this is happening with such regularity that the Aam Aadmi, not the party, but the person on the street is also gotten very immune to this. He is inured. ठीक है, कुछ हो रहा है, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है. But for you and I am only looking at it, this basket of raids, this raining of raids. You know, somewhere it is like me, you know, if the teacher, it doesn't like the way you and I behave in class and हमें अगर class में बंद कर देती है कहीं पे, तो it shows that she is very helpless at once. She is not able to handle us. So for me, that is the main question. That is it, if it is a matured party, then you know there is a, like you said, you also put it on the judiciary. But the point is, there seems to be a kind of a fear, atmosphere of fear in the country, according to some people. And it is very clear, I mean, I'm not going to exaggerate कि भाई ये यही करते हैं, not at all. But दूसरों ने भी बहुत बेहतर किया है ये. But the point is, that is the BJP feeling insecure? क्यों? Because the elections are around the corner and they are knocking. I think the whole thing becomes more magnified. Manasvi, you know, Amitabh Tiwari spoke about the judiciary. Your first comment about what the judiciary can do in a situation like this, because I have seen in the case of Senthil Balaji in Tamil Nadu, the ED was extremely adamant. On the other hand, the courts were extremely adamant. Nothing much came out of it. Also, although there was a slugfest. But I will ask you, please answer this question, and also the moot question. Is the BJP feeling insecure, Manasvi?
I think what BJP is trying to do as of now is it's in a confused state. So they are trying to use all kinds of tools whichever they have right now, and ED and CBI is one such tool. So what they are trying to tell the opposition with this undeclared emergency is that if you are in opposition, if you raise your voice, if you speak anything against BJP or you try to create alliances, we'll arrest you and we'll try to accumulate whatever corrupt wealth you have generated during your term or not in your term. But I don't have a problem with ED raids as such. I have a problem with ED not raiding those people who have jumped into BJP after having corruption charges.
Exactly.
So this is what is questionable. And this is what is questionable by the country. The citizens of this country are asking this simple question. If a person is corrupt, he should be convicted. What happens is a corrupt person joins BJP and he is no more corrupt. So this is what is paining to us. As citizens of this nation, do we want a corruption-free India or do we want opposition-free India? What is ED trying to do? So whoever is corrupt in this country joins BJP, and then the charges of corruption and then the ED raids, the investigation It's mellowed down.
Yeah,
it's
that's
slowed
what I
down.
wanted to. Yeah, I wanted to. You know, you actually echoed what I was thinking, and I will ask Amitabh in the next round, and also Suresh, Manasvi, that how come, if someone says ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा, तो उनकी पार्टी में जब लोग शामिल हो जाते हैं तो वो खाते ही नहीं है, उनको मतलब बदहजमी हो रही है to a great extent.
नहीं, मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि जो खाए हुए थे, जिनको आपने खिला दिया, अब उनका क्या है? उनके गले से आप निकालने वाले हो कि नहीं निकालने वाले हो? अब वो आपकी पार्टी में आके, so the real Raj Dharm would have been that they have joined BJP, that's okay, but the investigation continues. Yeah. When you are in a nation as large as beautiful as India, what precedents do you want to set to the younger generation, the future generation?
Okay. Right.
We are against corruption.
Yeah, Abhinandita.
Anyone corrupt in my party or any party will face the heat of the justice system and the investigation.
Yeah, absolutely. Abhinandita, you know what Manasvi just said, we'll have to face the system as it were, if it's business as usual. So I'm asking you something that, if the alleged Delhi liquor scam, which of course, like Suresh said, has been following because there is a South angle to it, and I also as a South Indian have been following it. It's sub judice. I don't want to open my mouth about anything. Let the law take its course. But I'm asking you something. It's very surprising that Congress, which is your ally in the India bloc, there is not a single peep from the Congress so far as the Delhi excise Sanjay Singh's arrest is concerned, and I'll tell you why. You can correct me if you want, is that in Telangana they are actually fighting the Congress on, the BRS, sorry, exactly on this, that is the liquor scam. So it suits them to keep quiet when it comes to Sanjay Singh. So kind of double standards within the India bloc as well. So you actually do not stand united, you are standing, in different directions, divided when it comes to this.
Well, first thing, that's a question that only the Congress can answer. But my understanding in this situation is that different political parties in a federal structure of democracy like ours will compete against each other in different states. They will also challenge each other on certain issues. But the reason why India Alliance has come together, and that I think everybody has categorically spelled out, that we do have differences. We do have issues that we are fighting, but in the larger interests of saving democracy, in the larger interest of defeating the BJP, we all are coming together under a, common minimum program. I think that is not unusual. It's not very common, but it's not unusual in a federal democracy like ours. So I think that should be taken care of. But I must actually read out a couple of observations that the Honorable Supreme Court made today. And when they
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm going to stop you there because I have a show to do, and this is kind of taking it away. Let me just preempt you, and my profuse apologies, Abhinandita. I don't do these kind of things, but I think this is a propos, Mr. Sisodia, if I'm not wrong. If you're going to, but we know that, but that's a different, that's a different conversation. Maybe we can keep it for some other time. All I'm saying right now is that, the India bloc, what you said that, there is a common minimum program, but it is in times like this. If you find that there is a political vendetta in the case of scribes, in the case of journalists, which Shashi Tharoor spoke about, I would have imagined that a voice would have come from there, but it is politically very inconvenient for the Congress to speak anything when they stand together as India and stand separately as politicians. Suresh, one question which I want to ask you is that how come everything is whitewashed when people jump over to the BJP? If there are rules and there is a method to the madness, then how come that madness is actually eclipsed when one joins the BJP? So it's clearly that the BJP seems to be insecure. Things are not going their way, particularly in south of India. AIADMK walks out of it. There are rumors that Pawan Kalyan may also dump the NDA, although there was news that he has, but let me also tell you that they are denying it right now. So it's kind of in a bit of a jeopardy right now. Would you agree, Suresh?
Well, it's simple. I think AIADMK walking away or Pawan Kalyan walking away wouldn't make a difference, as you rightly know, because BJP hardly has any seats in those states. But let us look at the bigger picture. If somebody is corrupt, you and me have a choice to go to the court and complain about it. You and me have a choice to go and file an FIR against it. So if you believe that Himanta Biswa Sarma became innocent after he joined BJP or XYZ happened, you have every right to go there and say, sorry, this is not done. The court should look into it, and definitely the court will do it. My question is, why is nobody doing it? Why are we debating in television
Because
studios?
everyone can't be a Subramaniam Swami, right? Why should everyone be a Subramaniam Swami,
no
go
need,
to the
no
court
need.
and
You're
all
right,
the time,
you're
you know,
right, you're
Lord,
right,
I'm asking you that how come when it's my child, he's never done anything wrong. It's like it smacks of just that. If you're saying that rules are rules and these people are perhaps with a capital P culpable, sure, let the method, you know, the process follow. But how come suddenly Mr. Hemanta Biswa, they all become innocent once they join the BJP? Who should make a complaint? You think the opposition should?
I am not holding a brief for the BJP, but my point is you can even write a letter to the Chief Justice and it becomes a PIL by itself. Nobody stops you. Nobody stops you. The problem is simple. Yes, I agree with you on that point that maybe when the raids happen, it happens with selectively, okay. It never happened with Congress. I guess that is what everybody will try to say. Or it never happens with Aam Aadmi Party when it drags a Congress legislator from his home in the dead of the night and carries him to the police station. There is no such issue then. But only when BJP does it, it becomes an issue. And we've seen that in different states and different points in time. We have Revanth Reddy facing a case in Telangana for which nothing has been done against him for the past 4 years by the TRS government here. Why? Because there is an unwritten law, you know, between those two parties. So, but when it comes to BJP, you pick up a particular incident and say, oh, why are we raiding these people? We should not be raiding them. No court will remand anybody to a judicial custody or a police custody unless there's a prima facie evidence. If there's no prima facie evidence, the judge gives them bail on the spot, unless, of course, it's like a UAPA charge or something like that. But otherwise, Sisodia being in the jail from March onwards, and why does he not get bail? Even today, when he went to the Supreme Court, why doesn't he get a bail? And that is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, Arvind Kejriwal talks about Sanjay Singh as, you know, the only person Modi is scared of. I think we spoke about it earlier. Or we are the only honest party in India. Everybody else is corrupt.
Yeah,
I mean, don't give yourself self-certifications. Do the certification. Let somebody else do the certifications.
Yeah.
That is the most important thing. I think we should remember that. For no political party is washed in milk and, you know, are the honest of it. Nobody is. But there is a thing called lesser corruption. That is the most important thing.
Yeah, okay.
If you believe that Modi is the most corrupt man, let Mr. Kejriwal go to the court, point in one case and say, why is no inquiry?
But then he is not the ruling dispensation,
Suresh.
Suresh, you and I know that how things work. I mean, we've seen enough summers in the sense that he's not the ruling dispensation, as it were, at the center. I'm not talking about Delhi. So it becomes a bit of a therefore, when you are in, I mean, when we speak of the emergency, we speak particularly about the draconian laws or draconian atmosphere, the terror unleashed by Mrs. Gandhi because she was at the helm of affairs. We do not speak about someone else. Of course, the president and Siddhartha Shankar Ray, all of them are fall guys. That's about it. But it is only Mrs. Gandhi who is at the kernel of what happened in 1975. Therefore, it doesn't wash with me to say let Mr. Kejriwal go. Mr. Modi happens to be the Prime Minister of this country, and therefore it is not just perception, it is pretty much reality that many things happen at, you know, at his bidding. Amitabh, I want to speak to you about perception. You brought up a very good thing. Look at the perception, Amitabh, that, you know, Modi ji is not corrupt. Modi ji does not tolerate corruption. But the point is that it also does not behove of him and his party, does not suit them, that, you know, they get so many, synchronize so many raids at one go and on opposition leaders, whereas, you know, there are lots of them sitting in his party who are not really kind of innocent babes in woods. So don't you think that the perception is also he's become this Balwan, someone who's very strong and invincible, which is not really good for a party like his, because it is not as if he's as invincible as he was in 2014.
Yeah. So see, what happens is that every strategy has a shelf life.
Yeah.
So this strategy of trying to prove that his government will not leave any corrupt person and bring them to justice works for some years. But as you've pointed out, that the raids happening only on opposition leaders in a synchronized manner before the elections, very low conviction rate, BJP acting like a washing machine, as opposition alleges, leaders hopping onto BJP bandwagon, becoming chief ministers, deputy chief ministers, who have ED cases against them, and they have not yet been closed. So what happens is all these things neutralize the positive perception which had accrued to the BJP because of this zero tolerance for corruption slogan of the Prime Minister.
Right.
So what has happened is that it has become a very normal thing, as you said. Today, even if when I speak to journalists, even they are not afraid of the ED raids, because they're saying that, okay, we know there will be a raid, there will be a charge sheet, this is what we have to reply, etc. Because it has become a very common thing, let's say.
Yes.
Correct. So, yeah. So that advantage is getting neutralized, and the invincibility part, as you're saying, what also happens is that BJP does see Aam Aadmi Party as a threat. That is very real. BJP does see Aam Aadmi Party as a threat, and not only in Delhi and Punjab, but it sees that it is perhaps the only party which can grow nationally. And what it is, I think, attempting is to deride its image and show to the people that it is not a party with a difference, and it is also one of the parties amongst us, and to dilute its credibility.
Yeah. Okay, Manasvi, I want to ask you before I completely run out of time. Manasvi, the thing is, one of the reasons that the India bloc, and these are not me, but a lot of people said that it's a collection of people. They've gotten together. The purpose, of course, they say, is ostensibly as an opposition, but basically it's also many leaders who fear the wrath of the ED or the sword, actually hanging around their necks. How would you react to that? And some of it is now coming true.
I think this is the exact reason to be together for the opposition. There is a political force which is creating a blueprint of politics in India. When you come in power, you make sure that you raid the opposition in ED. I don't think Atal Bihari Vajpayee ji, if he would have been in power, or LK Advani ji, if this BJP would be, their BJP would do this kind of atyachar on the opposition, this would not have been the case. This is not the Indian politics we've actually seen post 2014, but more predominantly after 2019. The kind of raid structure which has come out in India have never been there in the past. We have had oppositions, we have had discourse with opposition, discussions with opposition. On the contrary, BJP is a party which was loved by the people of this country, while most of their life they were in opposition. These kind of raids were not prevalent during our understanding of Indian political history, but this is very much prevalent. So what does a new youngster would think of while joining politics? He would think that let's be a corrupt opposition leader, make some corruption in my tenure, and then jump ships, join BJP, and all the corruption charges are gone. This particular blueprint is a problematic thing for the future of this country. While you want to have a corruption-free India,
right?
We
But
all would be
I'm sorry. I mean, seriously, Manasvi, you think any young person wants to join politics? I mean, and think that, or like this. I am sorry, but I don't think that anyone really, after all this, would like to. But then one thing is very clear from the conversation that I have had, and Amitabh really nailed it for me today, that yes, the BJP could feel insecure, at least from one party, and that being the Aam Aadmi Party. But the greater message is that yes, the BJP may be feeling jittery, because the BJP and a party which is led by Narendra Modi is very, very conscious of the image that it has, and why it's doing it. Simply, there is more to what meets the eye. Thank you very much, all of you. Abhinandita, Manasvi, Amitabh, thank you so much. Suresh, it was a sheer pleasure. Thank you so much. Our second story, the South Indian says that, there was a time when there was immaculate conception. Remember the Mahabharata, where Kunti had children, but all of them had different fathers. But now the times are very, very different. This is a time now when a woman can actually freeze her eggs. Yes, so much of empowerment. Have a baby without being married, and also not ever having met the father of the prospective child. But this story from Kerala is extremely endearing and proves, amongst other things, that parenthood is a fundamental right. You could be anybody. This couple got married in 2012 in Kerala, and they badly wanted to have a baby. But everything failed apparently, so they decided to undergo medical treatment in order to become parents. But then 4 years later, in 2016, the husband was sentenced to life sentence in a murder case and was lodged in Thrissur's Viewer jail. With that, the wife had little hope to ever become a mother in her lifetime. But then the woman refused to give up hope and approached the High Court seeking his parole to undergo IVF. In what can only be termed as rarest of rare cases or decisions, call it what you may. The court accepted the wife's petition and ordered a minimum of 15 days leave for the husband to undergo treatment. The High Court held that it could not shut its eye to such a request barely based on technicalities. You know what I was thinking when I read this story? Is this reason enough for the court to grant a prisoner parole who's serving a life sentence for a heinous crime like murder? But the court did give permission. This is why I think it's truly rarest of rare cases. What the High Court said is this: a convict is not entitled to all the fundamental rights under the Constitution, but right to procreate, that is reproduce, is a fundamental right of a couple. The court further said, and I am quoting the court, when a wife comes before the court with a request that she wants a child in the relationship with her husband who is undergoing imprisonment, the court cannot ignore the same on technicalities. Conviction and sentence in criminal cases is mainly to reform and rehabilitate the offenders. The state and society want to see the convict coming out of jail after rejuvenation as a reformed man, woman, said the court, who will be part of our society. The court also said a person who has undergone a sentence in a criminal case need not be treated as a different person when he comes out. He has every right. He has every right, said the court, to lead a decent life just like any other citizen. How wonderful is that? Have you ever heard of a case like this? Like I said in the beginning, in a society which is torn asunder because of extreme negativity, a society where the judiciary is under severe scrutiny day in and day out, this story of a man who has been granted parole for begetting a child is extremely endearing. And on that note, the South Indian is saying Vanakkam, stay well, and you know what, if you ever hear of such endearing stories, write into us, contact me, so that we can run your story on the show called the South Indian. Vanakkam.
Almost did not want to find out that Rajiv Gandhi was corrupt. Is it possible for a Prime Minister of a country to tell so many lies? You cannot imagine the pressure on me by the VP Singh government to write this story, to blame Amitabh Bachchan. Mr. Modi opened the boxes. Hello. My name is Chitra Subramaniam. I am a journalist by profession. My investigations into Bofors brought down the Rajiv Gandhi government.
This and more streaming now on the world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
I don't have any message for Pakistan. There is no politician in Pakistan. within 15 minutes, we got the information that the whole area is surrounded by Pakistan army. And they picked my husband. He was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. I'm Naila Qadri Baloch. I'm a Baloch freedom activist. I'm daughter of Balochistan, and I'm in struggle for the liberation of Balochistan. The day I came out against nuclear tests of Pakistan, my days in Pakistan were actually over there. But it was 1998 when it was, I think, 13th of May.
Pakistan today.
That Pakistan announced that they are gonna do their nuclear tests in Balochistan, Chagi. So it was a nuclear blast inside me, actually. And I was panicked. So I called Baloch Students Organization leaders. I was a professor in Balochistan University at that time. So I remember one of the professors said, Banok, it's kind of suicide you are attempting, because it's a matter of Pakistan's national security. I said, and how about Balochistan's national security? Nobody cares for that. And another said, look, our elders are silent. There is something. I said, you go and do a research paper on that, why our elders are silent, but I'm going to break this silence. So me and 200 Baloch students, boys and girls, we marched from Balochistan University, Saryab Road, till the center of the city, in front of Press Club, and we protested against the nuclear test in Balochistan. And we did it in the most weakest, vulnerable position we felt ourselves, but we didn't know that we are making history. Next day, international media, they were saying that Balochs are marching against this test. So we broke their narrative that it is with a national consensus. We broke that. And the nationalist government was there, and all the nationalist leaders or their sons were in the parliament, and they didn't oppose it. And I remember I called a few of them, and they said, no, they're not gonna do the test in Balochistan, they're just camouflaging it. They will do it in Kahuta. I said, we can see here, we are here, you guys are in Islamabad, but there are huge activities around Chagi, that Siako, the mountain. And yeah, they did the blast. 5 tests they did. I remember we had to go for a training in Islamabad after that, and I saw people were distributing sweets for that nuclear test, and somebody came near to me, sweets, and I became almost mad, and I just abused him. I said, go, you Punjabi. And I was I said, Pete. The way we curse somebody, we say, Pete in Punjabi. So my husband was with me, and he just said, he said, take away these sweets away from her. For you it's sweets, for us it's death. Yeah, so, and then show cause notices, arrest order, but they couldn't arrest me. And they picked my husband. He was making a documentary, and they said that, okay, you are making this film for why you are making this? And he said, it's on human rights violations of Baloch people, I'm making it. And then he was tortured there for 2 years. He was enforced disappeared. We had no idea where he is. And my warrants, I had an FIR in which me and Balachmari were together. It's an honor for me. They said that it was written that Balachmari has called her, and they discussed that she will call a meeting in her village, and she called the meeting and with the elders, and they decided to fight against Pakistan. So that kind of cases against me. So I was underground, and my husband was missing, and they were raiding my house. In November, they raided my house 13 times in 1 month. So my kids were somewhere else, I'm somewhere else, and I had to organize protest for my husband. Amnesty International played a very positive role for safe recovery of my husband. It wasn't safe when we found him after 2 years.